That's right, it's MYOG time. I'm going to teach you how to make this waterproof match case, so please stick around. Welcome back, everyone, to another fun-filled MYOG. So, since we've started to do our series on waterproof match cases that you can buy, I thought, you know what, we're going to do some variations on waterproof match cases that you can build. Now, before we get started here, before somebody spouts off in the comments, well, I just use a pill bottle that's waterproof. And you know what? That is the easiest waterproof container you can have. Is a bottle, pill bottle, something that's waterproof that you get for free after you use the product that was in it. Yes, that is the simplest. But I like building things. That's what I am about. So I'm going to show you how to build a very simple one from some common items and some stuff that you can get. So we're going to talk a little bit about PVC pipe. Here I have a piece of 1/2 inch, and the 1/2 inch denotes the inside diameter. This is schedule 40, and it has a very thick sidewall. Now, this isn't really ideal, but if it's all you have or all you can get, then that's what you got. What ideally you want to look for, I gotta move things around to get in here to show this to you, is, whoo, yeah, this is a long piece, is this. Now, I bought this piece of pipe at Lowe's. And you'll see there's a whole bunch of printing on here, 1/2 inch PVC, blah, 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 blah. Whole bunch of specs, right? Alright, what you're looking for this pipe is, let me find it here in the viewfinder, is this right here, 315. Now, let me move things around where I can show you the end of the pipe, because this is a long piece. The sidewall on this pipe, let me zoom out a little bit. The sidewall is very thin compared to the sidewall on the Schedule 40, which is very thick. In fact, the sidewall is 0.080 of an inch. Very thin. Now, the reason I showed you that 315 is this particular pipe, I even found a distributor online. It's called Class 315 Lightweight PVC Rigid Pipe. And you can order as little from them as a foot, or all the way up to a 10-foot piece. This piece I have here that I got at Lowe's was a 10-foot piece. Now, I know not everybody has a big box store or even a good hardware store near them. So if you don't, use the link in the description and you can order your pipe. So we got pipe, we got our all-purpose cement that works with PVC, ABS, and CPVC. Okay? For our ends, I have this neck assembly and bottle cap from a soda pop bottle. Okay, I just sawed that off, and then I removed the material all the way down to this this shoulder here. All right, now the cool thing is either one of these Schedule 40 or the 315 fits right over that. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? So we can glue this on, as long as you leave a gap here, and screw down this cap, and you're going to have a watertight container as long as you get the glue right. So that's what we're going to do. But we're going to do it with the 315 pipe because it's a thinner sidewall and we can fit more matches. So the first thing we need to do is determine how long of a match we want to put in there. I want to be able to store my stormproof matches, which are pretty long compared to the other ones. And we're going to pull one out here. We're going to measure it. Okay. And each of these squares on this cutting mat is an inch. So if we have an internal volume of at least 3 inches, we're right where we need to be. Okay? Well, the other thing we're going to need is, I went ahead and I cut a plug from a piece of 1/2 inch dowel. Now when you come in here on the Schedule 40, this is going to fit like super tight. You'd have to sand this down. On the 315, you see you got a little bit of a gap. I can wiggle that back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up the diameter of this with some masking tape until it fits this tightly, and then we're going to glue the whole thing in with super glue, and that's going to be our back end. And there's a reason for that, which you will see. So first things first, I'm going to remove the rest of this down to the shoulder, get set. I'm going to cut the appropriate length of 315, and I'll bring you back when I got that stuff ready for the next step. Another material that might work for this, but it's going to be a little bit more work. I'm showing you what's printed on the side here. And I'm dragging it through. I don't know how much of this is coming through, but this is the important part right here. Shark bite 3/4 inch pipe. Now this PVC pipe is somewhat flexible, but in short lengths it is not. And in order for this to work, having to maneuver around because this is a 10-foot piece as well. You can see it's got a little bit thicker sidewall than the 315. And taking our cap here, this just fits over, but only that uncut part just fits over. So if you want to get more of this up in there to glue, you're going to have to reduce the outside diameter of this pipe. Now you could do that with a rasp. Just take your time and make it fit. So we're going to cut a piece of this as well as the 315. So I've got these all brought down to the shoulder where I want them, and you can see they fit over. Also, I brought down the diameter of this 3/4 inch shark bite pipe, so that'll fit. Okay. Now our next step is to take our plugs, which are 1/4 inch thick, and add tape. Specifically, I'm using this Scotch brand masking tape to increase the diameter so they fit tightly in one end, just like that. It's really, really simple to do. Just go take a piece of tape, take my scissors, and I'm pretty good at eyeballing the size I need. Just like this. Put it on here and just go around. And then the next piece I cut gets put right where this piece ends. I keep doing that until I can fit snugly in here. So I'm going to finish that up off camera and bring it back when we are all ready. I got the tape on here. It fits very nicely. When I go to put it in here, yeah, it's nice and tight. Okay, we're ready for the next step. So the next step involves super glue. Because what we want to do is we want to seal this wood and bond it to the plastic at the same time. Now, if you know anything about wood, what I'm about to say is not, you know, earth-shattering news. But if you were to look microscopically at wood, it would look like if you're holding a handful of drinking straws. There are microscopic holes all the way through wood going with the grain. That's how sap moves in the living tree. And we want to plug all of that up. And super glue works really well for this. Just put a bunch on here. And I'm getting it in. There we go. And it's all, I'm trying to get it in the seam. I just want to make sure I get everything. Woo, I can smell that super glue. And you want to be careful doing this that you don't have anything like maybe a tablet, or in my case a wristwatch, that has a fingerprint on the glass, or my camera on the glass, because the fumes from this super glue will cause those fingerprints to set rather permanently. Think an episode of CSI, if you don't know what I'm talking about. So now that I've got the super glue on there, and I'm just going to let that soak in and dry, I'm going to move both these to the furnace room in my house where it's nice and warm, and those can cure. And I'll bring you back when that is complete. The wood that I impregnated with super glue is completely dry. I also put a few drops inside here, swirled it around, so it's sealed inside and out. And that's pretty much a done deal for both pieces. So our next step is we're going to take our prepared pieces from our soda bottles and we're going to glue them on each side. I have my all-purpose cement, and that's what we're using. See if I can do this without making a big mess. Okay. Alright. Now as you put these on, if you turn it and help spread that glue around, you'll get more of coverage. And we want to leave a gap between this surface and the edge of about 1/16 or a millimeter. About like that. You see that gap? And then I'm going to wipe the excess glue off here. Okay. So that side is done. Now I'm going to do the other side. Okay. Alright. Gonna wipe the excess glue. Alright, excess glue's wiped. We've got a gap at this side too, you know, kind of like a step. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera, glue this one up, and then I'm going to put these in the furnace room for a few hours to dry, and I'll bring you back for the next step. The cement is all cured and hardened, and this plastic is effectively bonded to the shark bite pipe. Same thing with this 315 pipe. Alright. Now you might be wondering, why did we put a plug in this side? Well, let me show you what I have planned here. Now, I purchased off Amazon a sheet of striking paper. This is phosphorus striking paper, like what's on the side of a box of matches. And we are going to make a pad, and this is sticky backed, and we're going to put it right here and cover it with a cap so it's waterproof. So if you're using regular kitchen matches, you have your striking surface that'll be protected from the damp. So let's take our paper and let's figure this out. I just have another neck from a soda bottle. I'm just using that to get the size, and a felt tip pen. And let's see if we can do this. Yeah, I think that'll do. Grab my scissors. Okay. Now to separate the sticky back. There we go. Yep. There we go. There's a striking surface. And when that wears out, I can just get in there with like a knife tip or a dental pick or something and dig it out. That's sealed. And that's sealed. Okay. Now for some embellishments. We can take a piece of cord. We could tie this cord on here to make a lanyard point. We could glue it on. We could, well, let's go on the other side. We could pop this this red part, this collar, that's part of the original seal from when this cap breaks free on the soda bottle. We could get this cord underneath that on each side and tie it off to make a tie-off point. But what you can really do with this, its shape lends to perfectly, is standard duct tape. Boom. So you could put some layers of duct tape on here, And then you would have duct tape. Duct tape will burn very nicely. It can be a improvised fire starter. You can also fix gear with it. Not to mention the 9,010,000 other uses duct tape has, and it'd be nice to have. But before we do any of that, we've got our this match case, and this is out of the Schedule 40 PVC. Let's see how many matches we can get in here. So, okay, so we got our regular wooden kitchen matches. And the nice thing is we don't have to leave room for another striker because we have a striker on the bottom. I think that's about as many as I'm going to be able to fit in there. And we got a little gap in here so you could stuff a cotton ball in here to keep any rattling down. But on that one, it looks like 10, looks about 15 matches in that one. In the 315 pipe, we're definitely going to get a few more because we just have a little bit more room because the sidewall is thinner. Okay, that's about as many matches as I can fit. And it looks like we have 5, 10, 17. So we can fit 17 in this one. What was it, like 12 or 15 in that one? Because of the thickness of the sidewalls. Okay, I'm going to get things kind of tidied up here. Cut another striker surface for this one, and we're going to do a water test. We're going to see if these are really watertight. Thought I'd do some real quick measurements so we get an idea what we're dealing with here, the finished product. From end to end, looking at roughly 3.5185 of an inch or 89.37 millimeters long. Not bad. Not bad. Let's get a weight on these. The red one's going to probably weigh just a little bit more than the green one. That's to be expected. Okay, let's set it to pounds first. Green one is exactly 1 ounce or 27 grams. The red one, unreal. The red one weighs less. That doesn't make any sense. 7/8 of an ounce? That can't be right. It's weighing in at 7/8 of an ounce. 26 grams. So even though this one has a thicker sidewall, it's lighter. Huh. Who would have figured? Okay, we're all set here to do our water test. I got some paper napkins, and we are going to, let's see if I got these the right size, fold these up and roll them in. And we're going to do our water test. I'm really curious to see if what I cobbled together here out of spare parts and my imagination is going to work. Okay. Alright, that guy's in there. The nice thing about this design is if you were to lose a lid, just get another one. And it floats, just like I expected. Let me get this other one here all set. Okay, this one had to roll down a little tighter. Okay. Alright. It's, what is it? It's about 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. I'll come back 10:30ish and we'll see how these fared in their water test. So I'll see you then. It is now almost 11 o'clock, so a little bit over 2.5 hours. We'll dry these off, and we're going to see if our build was a success or not. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got. Oh, looks pretty dry to me. Okay, the interior is bone dry. There ain't a bit of water in there. That's outstanding. And make sure I get that off the threads. Alright. Put that back on. Let's check the striker pad. Striker pad looks pretty dry to me. I do have some water there on the threads though, but it didn't get past the seal. Alright. Let's check the one made with a 315 pipe, shall we? Well, that looks pretty dang dry. Yep. I don't see any water in there. There is some water that got around on the threads. That's to be expected. But it didn't get inside. Okay, let's check the striker pad. The striker pad looks good. I got water on the threads though, so we're going to get that off there. Okay, now while I have these open, let's test that striker pad, shall we? Got a kitchen match? I'd say that works. Alright, well, this was a successful test. Everything worked out. And our little Mark 1 has worked out. The cat has shown up, little Kira, to see what's going on. So we're going to call this MYOG a done deal. Mark 1 match case is a success, easy to make, and you get to upscale some stuff that you normally would throw away, like pop bottles. So I will see you later on out in the woods.